3 weeks after the discovery of the hidden surveillance room, Detective Inspector James Crawford stood in the secure briefing room at Thames House, MI5 headquarters, preparing to present the most comprehensive intelligence briefing of his career. The investigation had uncovered an international espionage network that reached into the highest levels of foreign governments and threatened the security of the British state itself. Agent Sarah Mitchell had worked tirelessly with international partners to trace the flow of stolen intelligence from the surveillance operation. Her findings painted a picture of systematic espionage that had been operating undetected for over 2 years, far longer than initially suspected. The breakthrough had come when cybersecurity experts successfully traced the data transmissions to their ultimate destination. The stolen recordings and surveillance footage had been routed through servers in 7 different countries before reaching their final destination. Intelligence facilities operated by a hostile foreign government that had been seeking detailed information about British royal family activities and relationships. Construction supervisor Michael Roberts had provided crucial information that helped investigators understand the full scope of the operation. Under continued questioning, he revealed that he had been recruited not just to install surveillance equipment at Clarence House, but also at 6 other high-profile properties throughout London, including government buildings and diplomatic residences. The investigation team discovered that Roberts was part of a larger network of individuals who had been systematically infiltrating British construction and renovation industries. Foreign intelligence operatives had spent years identifying and recruiting workers who could gain access to sensitive buildings during routine maintenance and renovation projects. Queen Consort Camilla had been thoroughly briefed on the investigation's findings and the security implications for the royal family. Palace sources indicated she was particularly concerned about the recordings of private family conversations and the potential for them to be used for blackmail or public embarrassment. The recorded conversations had revealed intimate details about royal family relationships, concerns about public perception, and private discussions about government policies and international relations. Intelligence analysts were still working to assess what specific information could be used to damage British interests or compromise ongoing diplomatic initiatives. King Charles had authorized a complete overhaul of royal security protocols based on the investigation's findings. The new measures included advanced electronic surveillance detection, enhanced background checks for all personnel with access to royal properties, and regular security sweeps using military-grade detection equipment. Tom Parker Bowles had been completely cleared of any involvement in the surveillance operation. Investigators determined that the hidden room had been constructed without his knowledge during periods when he was traveling for extended assignments. The sophisticated concealment methods used made it virtually impossible for him to have detected the room's existence through normal daily activities. Agent Mitchell's investigation had identified the foreign intelligence operation as part of a broader campaign targeting Western governments and their leadership. The British royal family surveillance was just one component of a systematic effort to gather intelligence on political leaders, government officials, and influential public figures throughout Europe and North America. The international scope of the operation had prompted coordination between intelligence agencies from multiple allied nations. Evidence suggested that similar surveillance operations had been conducted against political leaders in France, Germany, and several other NATO countries, indicating a coordinated campaign of espionage. Detective Crawford's team had made several additional arrests based on information provided by Roberts and evidence gathered from the surveillance equipment. The arrests included other construction workers, a telecommunications technician who had installed hidden data transmission equipment, and a financial intermediary who had managed the payment systems for the entire operation. The investigation revealed that the Foreign Intelligence Service responsible for the operation had invested millions of pounds in creating and maintaining the surveillance network. The sophisticated equipment, cover identities, and shell companies required substantial resources that could only be provided by a state-level intelligence organization. Palace Security had completed comprehensive sweeps of all royal residences and discovered additional surveillance equipment at Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, and Sandringham House. The hidden devices had been recording activities at these locations for varying periods, with some equipment having been in place for over 3 years. The discovery of long-term surveillance at multiple royal residences forced investigators to consider the possibility that foreign intelligence services had been monitoring royal family activities since King Charles's accession to the throne. The timing suggested the surveillance campaign might have been designed to gather intelligence during a period of transition and potential vulnerability. Government security agencies faced the challenging task of determining what classified information might have been compromised through recorded conversations between royal family members and government officials. Several high-level meetings had taken place at royal residences during the surveillance period, potentially exposing sensitive government policy discussions. The Prime Minister had been briefed on the investigation's findings and the national security implications of the surveillance operation. Government sources indicated serious concerns about the precedent set by successful foreign intelligence penetration of royal security and the potential for similar operations targeting other high-value government facilities. Agent Mitchell worked with diplomatic security teams to assess the international implications of the surveillance discovery. The evidence of systematic foreign espionage targeting the British royal family would likely affect diplomatic relationships and could result in the expulsion of suspected intelligence operatives from the United Kingdom. The investigation had also uncovered evidence that the surveillance operation was part of a broader information warfare campaign designed to gather intelligence that could be used to influence British public opinion and government policy. The recorded conversations contained information that could be selectively released or manipulated to create political controversy or undermine public confidence in royal institutions. Financial investigators had traced the funding for the surveillance operation to accounts controlled by front organizations linked to foreign government intelligence agencies. The complex financial structure had been designed to obscure the true source of funding and make it difficult to trace the operation back to its sponsors. Roberts continued to provide information about his recruitment and training by foreign intelligence operatives. His detailed accounts helped investigators understand the sophisticated methods used to identify, recruit, and manage assets within British infrastructure industries. The recruitment process had taken over a year and involved extensive vetting and gradual introduction to increasingly sensitive assignments. The technical analysis of the surveillance equipment revealed that the Foreign Intelligence Service had access to cutting-edge surveillance technology that was more advanced than some equipment used by British intelligence agencies. This technological advantage had allowed them to create nearly undetectable surveillance systems that could operate for extended periods without discovery. Palace communications teams faced the difficult challenge of managing public relations aspects of the surveillance discovery without revealing classified information about the investigation or compromising ongoing intelligence operations. The balance between transparency and security required careful coordination with government press officials and intelligence agencies. The investigation had identified several other high-profile properties in London that had been targeted by the same surveillance operation. These included government offices, diplomatic residences, and private homes of senior political figures. The scope of the operation suggested a systematic campaign to monitor British political and social leadership. Queen Consort Camilla had requested regular updates on the investigation's progress and the measures being taken to prevent similar security breaches in the future. Her particular concern focused on the protection of private family conversations and the security of her children and grandchildren. The surveillance equipment analysis revealed that foreign intelligence operatives had been particularly interested in conversations about royal family travel plans, security arrangements, and relationships with government officials. This information could have been used to plan additional intelligence operations or to identify vulnerabilities in royal protection protocols. Detective Crawford prepared final reports documenting the complete scope of the surveillance operation and its implications for British national security. The investigation had revealed one of the most sophisticated foreign espionage campaigns ever discovered operating within the United Kingdom, with implications that extended far beyond the original discovery at Clarence House. Agent Mitchell coordinated with international intelligence partners to share information about the surveillance operation and the techniques used by the Foreign Intelligence Service. The cooperation was essential for preventing similar operations in other countries and for developing countermeasures against the sophisticated surveillance technologies employed. The investigation team recommended significant changes to security protocols for all high-profile British properties, including enhanced surveillance detection capabilities, more rigorous contractor vetting procedures, and regular security sweeps using advanced detection equipment. The recommendations would require substantial investment in new security technologies and training. Government security agencies initiated a comprehensive review of all foreign intelligence threats targeting British institutions and leadership. The successful penetration of royal security highlighted potential vulnerabilities in other high-value government and diplomatic facilities that might be targets for similar operations. The arrest and prosecution of individuals involved in the surveillance operation would send a strong message to other foreign intelligence services about the consequences of espionage activities targeting British institutions. However, officials recognized that the sophisticated nature of the operation suggested it was likely just one component of broader intelligence campaigns. Palace officials announced that the enhanced security measures implemented in response to the investigation would become permanent features of royal protection protocols. The new systems were designed to detect and prevent future surveillance operations while maintaining the accessibility required for royal families' public duties and engagements. As the investigation concluded, officials acknowledged that the discovery by Royal Protection Officer Marcus Henderson had prevented potentially devastating intelligence losses and exposed a sophisticated threat to British national security. His routine security check had uncovered what intelligence experts considered one of the most serious espionage operations discovered in recent decades. The hidden room in Tom Parker Bowles' quarters had revealed just the beginning of an international intelligence operation that had threatened the privacy and security of the British royal family while potentially compromising sensitive government information and diplomatic relationships. The investigation's findings would influence British intelligence and security policies for years to come, ensuring that the lessons learned from this breach would help protect against future foreign espionage operations targeting British institutions and leadership. The case demonstrated the ongoing challenges faced by democratic societies in protecting their institutions and leaders from sophisticated foreign intelligence threats while maintaining the openness and accessibility that their citizens expect from their governments and public figures. Detective Inspector James Crawford arrived at New Scotland Yard the following morning with a heavy briefcase containing evidence that would change everything the public thought they knew about royal security. The night had been long, filled with encrypted communications, emergency meetings, and the growing realization that the surveillance operation was far more extensive than initially believed. The incident room at Scotland Yard buzzed with activity as investigators from multiple agencies worked to piece together the puzzle. MI5 operatives sat alongside Metropolitan Police detectives, while representatives from the Government Communications Headquarters analyzed the sophisticated electronic equipment found in the hidden room. Agent Sarah Mitchell from MI5 had taken the lead on the intelligence aspects of the investigation. Her preliminary analysis of the surveillance equipment revealed technology that was military-grade and not available to civilian purchasers. This suggested either government involvement or access to highly restricted black market suppliers. The recording equipment we found uses encryption algorithms that are typically reserved for state security agencies, Agent Mitchell explained to the assembled team. Whoever installed this system had access to classified surveillance technology. The investigation had expanded overnight to include Tom Parker Bowles himself, though he remained unaware that his room had become the center of a major security scandal. Detectives had tracked his movements over the previous 6 months, looking for any indication that he might have known about the hidden room or been involved in its creation. Phone records showed that Tom had been in contact with several individuals who worked in construction and renovation industries, which initially raised suspicions. However, further investigation revealed these contacts were related to legitimate renovation projects he was planning for his other properties. Detective Crawford received an urgent call from Clarence House Security. Additional surveillance equipment had been discovered in 3 other locations within the residence, confirming that the operation was far more comprehensive than the single hidden room suggested. The discovery included miniature cameras hidden in light fixtures, listening devices concealed in furniture, and even recording equipment placed in the heating and ventilation systems. The technical analysis team made a breakthrough when they discovered that all the surveillance devices were connected to a central computer network that had been secretly installed during the building's recent renovation work. The person responsible had created an entire covert surveillance system that could monitor multiple rooms simultaneously and record everything automatically. Palace security records were subpoenaed to identify everyone who had worked on the renovation project. The list included dozens of contractors, subcontractors, and their employees, all of whom would need to be investigated thoroughly. The renovation had taken place over several months, providing ample opportunity for someone to install the surveillance system gradually, without detection. Queen Consort Camilla had been moved to a secure location while investigators continued their work at Clarence House. Palace sources indicated she was deeply upset by the violation of her family's privacy and concerned about what information might already be in unauthorized hands. The computer analysis revealed that the surveillance system had been transmitting data to external servers for at least 6 months. Cybersecurity experts were working to trace these transmissions and identify where the information had been sent. The sophistication of the data routing suggested professional intelligence operations rather than simple criminal activity. Agent Mitchell discovered that some of the recorded conversations contained discussions about upcoming state visits, royal travel plans, and other information that could pose national security risks if revealed to hostile foreign governments. The investigation was rapidly escalating from a privacy violation to a potential matter of international security. Tom Parker Bowles returned from his assignment earlier than expected, having been contacted by Palace Security and asked to return immediately. His shock upon learning about the hidden room in his private quarters was reportedly genuine, though investigators continued to examine every aspect of his recent activities. During his interview with Detective Crawford, Tom provided detailed information about his daily routines and anyone who might have had access to his room. He confirmed that housekeeping staff, security personnel, and occasional maintenance workers were the only people with regular access to his private quarters. The investigation team made a disturbing discovery when they analyzed the timeline of surveillance activities. The recordings showed that conversations had been captured during some of the most sensitive family discussions, including planning sessions for major royal events and private conversations about family relationships and concerns. Financial investigators began examining bank records and financial transactions associated with everyone who had access to Clarence House during the renovation period. They were looking for unusual payments, unexplained income, or any financial connections that might indicate someone was being paid to conduct the surveillance operation. A breakthrough came when investigators discovered that one of the construction supervisors had received several large cash deposits into his personal bank account during the renovation period. The payments came from a shell company that appeared to exist solely for the purpose of financing covert operations. Construction supervisor Michael Roberts was brought in for questioning after investigators linked him to the suspicious financial transactions. His background check revealed previous employment with private security companies and connections to individuals who worked in industrial espionage. During his initial interview, Roberts maintained his innocence and claimed the payments were for legitimate construction consulting work. However, phone records showed he had been in contact with several individuals who worked for foreign intelligence services, raising serious questions about his true motivations. The interrogation of Michael Roberts continued for hours as investigators pressed him for information about who had hired him to install the surveillance equipment. Roberts initially refused to cooperate, claiming he had signed confidentiality agreements that prevented him from revealing his clients' identities. Detective Crawford and Agent Mitchell worked together to present Roberts with the evidence against him, including financial records, phone communications, and technical analysis of the surveillance equipment. The mounting evidence made it clear that his involvement in the operation was extensive and deliberate. Under increasing pressure, Roberts finally began providing information about the surveillance operation. He revealed that he had been approached by intermediaries representing what they claimed was a private security company conducting authorized security assessments of royal properties. The story Roberts told became increasingly complicated as investigators pressed for details. He claimed he had been told the surveillance installation was part of an official security upgrade authorized by government agencies, though he admitted he never received any official documentation confirming this authorization. Further investigation revealed that the intermediaries who had contacted Roberts were likely foreign intelligence operatives using cover identities. The sophistication of their operation and the resources at their disposal suggested state-level involvement rather than criminal or commercial espionage. Agent Mitchell coordinated with international intelligence agencies to trace the connections between Roberts' contacts and known foreign intelligence networks. The investigation was expanding beyond British borders as evidence suggested the operation might be connected to hostile foreign governments seeking intelligence on the British royal family. Palace officials faced difficult decisions about how much information to share with the public about the security breach. The discovery of extensive surveillance operations raised questions about the effectiveness of existing royal protection measures and could potentially encourage copycat operations by other hostile groups. King Charles was briefed regularly on the investigation's progress and reportedly expressed serious concerns about the implications for royal family security and privacy. Palace sources indicated he was considering significant changes to royal protection protocols and security procedures. The investigation team discovered that the surveillance operation had captured information about more than just the royal family. Recordings included conversations with government officials, foreign dignitaries, and other high-profile individuals who had visited royal residences during the surveillance period. This revelation expanded the investigation's scope to include potential national security implications and diplomatic concerns. Government officials needed to determine what classified information might have been compromised and which foreign governments needed to be informed about potential intelligence breaches. The technical analysis of the surveillance equipment revealed that the system had been designed to operate indefinitely without detection. Automated systems uploaded recorded conversations and surveillance footage to remote servers on a regular schedule, ensuring that even if the physical equipment was discovered, the intelligence would already be in unauthorized hands. Cybersecurity experts worked around the clock to trace the data transmissions and attempt to identify all the servers that had received information from the surveillance system. The investigation revealed a sophisticated network of servers located in multiple countries, making it difficult to determine the ultimate destination of the stolen intelligence. Roberts continued to provide information about his contacts and the instructions he had received for installing the surveillance equipment. His cooperation was crucial for investigators to understand the full scope of the operation and identify other individuals who might be involved. The investigation revealed that Roberts had installed similar surveillance equipment in several other high-profile properties, though none were directly connected to the royal family. This suggested the operation was part of a broader intelligence-gathering campaign targeting British political and social elites. Agent Mitchell worked with international partners to coordinate the investigation of Roberts' overseas contacts and the shell companies that had financed the surveillance operation. The complex web of financial transactions and false identities suggested professional intelligence operations backed by significant resources. As the investigation continued, officials realized they were dealing with one of the most serious security breaches in modern royal history. The surveillance operation had potentially compromised years of private royal family conversations and provided hostile foreign governments with unprecedented intelligence about British royal family activities and relationships. Detective Crawford prepared comprehensive reports for senior government officials and intelligence agencies, knowing that the discoveries would likely result in major changes to royal security protocols and potentially affect diplomatic relationships with countries suspected of involvement in the surveillance operation. The hidden room that Marcus Henderson had discovered had opened a window into a sophisticated international espionage operation that threatened not only royal family privacy, but also British national security interests. The investigation was far from over, with many questions still unanswered about who ultimately received the stolen intelligence and what they planned to do with it. The morning sun cast long shadows across the stone corridors of Clarence House as Royal Protection Officer Marcus Henderson began his routine security sweep. He had been guarding the royal family for 8 years, and nothing ever surprised him anymore. Or so he thought. Marcus moved through the elegant hallways with practiced silence, his trained eyes scanning every corner for anything unusual. The house was quiet this early, with most residents still asleep. Queen Consort Camilla had left for an early morning engagement, and her son Tom Parker Bowles was supposed to be traveling for a food review assignment. As Marcus approached Tom's private quarters on the second floor, he noticed something odd. The door was slightly ajar, which was unusual since Tom always kept his room locked when away. Marcus knocked softly and waited. No response. He pushed the door open carefully and stepped inside. The room was immaculate as always, with expensive furniture and personal photographs lining the shelves. Marcus had been in this room countless times during routine checks, but today something felt different. He couldn't put his finger on it at first. Then, he noticed it. The large mahogany bookshelf along the far wall seemed to be positioned differently than usual. Marcus approached the bookshelf cautiously. His security training had taught him to notice even the smallest details, and this definitely qualified. The heavy wooden structure appeared to have been moved recently. There were slight scratches on the hardwood floor that hadn't been there before, and the dust pattern behind the shelf was disturbed. Curiosity got the better of him as he examined the bookshelf more closely. Running his fingers along the edges, he discovered something remarkable. The entire structure was actually mounted on hidden hinges. It wasn't just a bookshelf, it was a concealed door. Marcus felt his pulse quicken as he carefully pulled the bookshelf away from the wall. Behind it was a narrow entrance leading to what appeared to be a hidden room. The opening was just wide enough for a person to squeeze through, and a faint light emanated from within. He radioed his supervisor immediately. "This is Henderson. I need you to come to Tom Parker Bowles' quarters right away. We have a situation that requires immediate attention." While waiting for backup, Marcus used his flashlight to peer into the hidden space. What he saw made his blood run cold. The room was much larger than it appeared from the entrance, stretching back several meters into what should have been solid wall. The space was furnished with a desk, filing cabinets, and sophisticated electronic equipment that looked completely out of place in the historic building. Supervisor Sarah Williams arrived within minutes, accompanied by Detective Inspector James Crawford from the Metropolitan Police's Special Protection Unit. Both officials examined the discovery with growing concern. "How long has this room been here?" Detective Crawford asked, stepping carefully into the hidden space. Marcus shook his head. "I've never seen it before. I check this room regularly, and that bookshelf has never moved. Someone must have activated it recently." The three officials began documenting everything they found. The hidden room contained several computer monitors, recording equipment, and filing cabinets filled with documents. Most disturbing were the photographs covering one entire wall, surveillance shots of various royal family members taken without their knowledge. Detective Crawford examined the surveillance photos with mounting alarm. They showed Queen Consort Camilla at private family gatherings, King Charles during informal moments, and even Prince William and Princess Catherine with their children. The images were clearly taken from concealed cameras placed throughout different royal residences. "This is a serious security breach," Sarah Williams said grimly. "We need to contact the palace security team immediately and begin a full investigation." As they continued exploring the room, Marcus discovered another troubling element. A sophisticated computer system was still running, displaying what appeared to be real-time feeds from cameras placed throughout various royal properties. The technology was far more advanced than anything the official security team used. Detective Crawford began examining the filing cabinets methodically. Inside, he found detailed dossiers on numerous royal family members, including personal information that should have been classified. There were financial documents, medical records, and private correspondence that had somehow been obtained illegally. "Someone has been conducting unauthorized surveillance on the royal family for months, possibly years," he announced. "This operation is extensive and professional. We're not dealing with an amateur." The most shocking discovery came when Marcus found a hidden safe behind one of the filing cabinets. Using specialized tools from his security kit, he managed to open it. Inside were audio recordings, video files, and documents that appeared to contain highly sensitive information about royal family activities and private conversations. Sarah Williams immediately contacted Palace Security Headquarters while Detective Crawford called for additional investigators. The situation was rapidly escalating beyond a simple security breach into what appeared to be a major espionage operation. As news of the discovery spread through official channels, senior palace officials began arriving at Clarence House. The Queen's private secretary, the head of royal protection, and representatives from MI5 all converged on the scene within hours. The investigation team worked methodically to catalog every piece of evidence found in the hidden room. They discovered that the surveillance operation had been incredibly sophisticated, with hidden cameras and listening devices placed throughout multiple royal residences. The person responsible had clearly been planning this operation for a considerable time. Detective Crawford's team found evidence that the hidden room had been constructed during recent renovation work on the building. Someone with inside knowledge had taken advantage of the construction period to create this secret surveillance center without detection. The computer system revealed the most disturbing information yet. Encrypted files showed that someone had been recording private conversations between royal family members for months. The recordings included discussions about family matters, state affairs, and personal relationships that were never meant to be public. As investigators continued their work, they began to piece together a timeline of the surveillance operation. The evidence suggested that someone with intimate access to the royal family had been systematically collecting information for unknown purposes. Marcus realized that his routine security check had uncovered what might be one of the most serious security breaches in recent royal history. The hidden room represented a massive violation of privacy and potentially a threat to national security. The palace security team immediately began sweeping all royal residences for additional surveillance equipment. They found hidden cameras in multiple locations, confirming that the operation extended far beyond the single room in Tom Parker Bowles' quarters. Queen Consort Camilla was informed of the discovery while at her official engagement. She immediately canceled her remaining appointments and returned to Clarence House under heavy security escort. Her reaction to seeing the hidden room was reportedly one of shock and disbelief. King Charles was briefed on the situation within hours of the discovery. Palace sources indicated that he was deeply concerned about the security implications and ordered a complete review of all protection protocols. The investigation team began analyzing the recorded conversations to determine what information might have been compromised. Some recordings contained discussions about upcoming royal engagements, family travel plans, and other sensitive details that could pose security risks if released publicly. Detective Crawford's preliminary assessment suggested that whoever created this surveillance operation had extensive knowledge of royal security procedures and building layouts. The sophistication of the equipment and the strategic placement of cameras indicated professional-level planning and execution. As word of the discovery spread through government security agencies, officials began considering the possibility that foreign intelligence services might be involved. The level of sophistication and the type of information being collected suggested this could be more than domestic espionage. Palace officials faced the difficult task of determining how much damage had been done and what information might already be in the hands of unauthorized parties. The recorded conversations and surveillance footage represented a treasure trove of private royal family information. The hidden room also contained communication equipment that investigators believed had been used to transmit information to external parties. Analysis of the transmission logs would be crucial in determining who had been receiving the illegally obtained intelligence. Marcus continued to provide detailed accounts of his security procedures and observations to help investigators understand how the surveillance operation had remained undetected for so long. His discovery of the hidden room had potentially prevented even more serious security breaches. The investigation expanded to include background checks on all staff members who had access to Clarence House during the recent renovation period. Anyone who could have created or used the hidden room would need to be identified and questioned thoroughly. As the first day of investigation concluded, officials realized they were dealing with a complex espionage operation that threatened the privacy and security of the entire royal family. The discovery would require extensive investigation and likely result in significant changes to royal protection protocols. The hidden room in Tom Parker Bowles' quarters had revealed just the tip of what appeared to be a much larger intelligence-gathering operation. Marcus Henderson's routine security check had uncovered a scandal that would shake the foundations of royal security and privacy. Detective Crawford prepared his initial report for senior officials. knowing that this discovery would likely result in one of the most intensive security investigations in recent royal history. The implications of the surveillance operation extended far beyond a simple privacy violation into matters of national security and royal protection. The sophisticated nature of the operation suggested that whoever was responsible had been planning this surveillance campaign for a considerable time and had significant resources at their disposal. The investigation would need to determine not only who was responsible, but also what information had already been compromised and who might have received it. As night fell on Clarence House, the investigation team continued their meticulous documentation of evidence. The hidden room that Marcus had discovered would soon become the center of a major royal scandal that would test the security protocols and privacy protections of the British royal family. The discovery marked the beginning of what would become one of the most serious security breaches in modern royal history, with implications that would extend far beyond the walls of Clarence House and into the highest levels of government and security agencies.